My name is Gbolahan Ayoola. I'm an artist and a prince from Ikpetumudu, from the loins of Obatala Orishanla, the molder of all human beings, and I consider the first artist. I got my degree from Gbolahan Ayoola University, Fine and Applied Arts, and I've been making art for 20-something odd years now. I've been asked questions over the course of making art in my career. I've been asked questions, what do you like about art? What do you consider is the responsibility of being an artist? Freedom will be the word that will come to mind first. The fact that you can, do what you want, represent the world in the way you see it, not the way you've learned how to see it, but in the way you just see it. That's good. Not many people have that option. I like that about being an artist. The tough side is that responsibility side. You begin to feel that your life is not your own, Like everything you do with your work is not for you, really. Even though you're the one seeing the visions and the dreams. But those dreams and visions might not even have much to do with you. It might be some sort of messages for the society, for the people. So you start to feel that you're sort of like a channel, that things are just flowing through you from here to the society, So when I talk about happenings in the society and you regurgitating it, leads me to this new body of work. I drew much of my inspiration from classical art, for example, so I'm very interested in how my ancestors used to make art and, their approach, the technique. So I go way back and, when I'm trying to see the best ways to deliver my message, even in the contemporary times. So, but recently I started seeing the importance of also using contemporary ideas or styles, to deliver some of this message, or maybe creating a fusion between how my ancestors would have worked and how a contemporary artist will work, and bringing these two techniques or ideas together to be able to create something. Growing up, I was very into comics, cartoons, animations, and stuff like that. So when I make some of my artwork, of course, paintings are like, two-dimensional still images. Sometimes you look at them and I feel like I'm having a communication with these images. So for example, I have a painting of the blue woman in front of me and I'm just looking, and I'm just at a point, I'll start feeling like we're having a conversation, like she's talking to me. And that kind of like led me to this idea of animation, like, okay, what if I can really use a medium to make her talk, to me. So, and that idea of animation came to my mind, and how I can use that medium, to see the blue woman in a different light. And that now led to prints, for example. And that is also because the thing that I like most with prints is, let's say artworks in the museums that, the stock in the museums, they can't be like owned privately. Some people would have to travel thousands of miles to go and see the species. But again, you don't really enjoy them because you're going to be seeing this work for like 5 or 10 minutes or maximum 1 hour. And you might not see it again until like maybe 2 years when you go to that city to see that work. What do you get from the museums? You buy the prints. And some of these prints are so good, you take them to your house and you live with them. It's like you're living with that same work that you saw at the museum. And I, for one, have benefited a lot from that because some of my favorite artists, their works are in museums where I see them. So what I do is I just buy the prints and I put them around me and I live with them, in my bedroom or in my studio. So, and I now see how people sometimes come to my studio as well, or maybe go to a gallery or come to my exhibition, and they really like a piece from me, but maybe it's sold to somebody else, or maybe it's a bit above their budget. And I can see in their eyes, this work would do something for them. And me as a messenger of sort, I think it's like, my job is not completely done. There's a space, there's a hole that needs to be filled. So I thought of how prints have helped to fill my own, hole as well. I said, okay, why don't I go into that as well and make prints for people who can have that work that has been sold or who can afford it. But prints, I can do multiples, right? So I can reach a lot more people with it. So the idea to make prints came from that, to be able to satisfy urges and fill holes in people's hearts who really want to have this work with them. And the idea of the animation is, I really want to see what it would feel like, seeing some of these images really have a conversation with me and talk back, So that's really what this new body of work is about. So like it always happens, all my body of work, because people would say, okay, so Ayoola, you have all this idea, but you're working with a gallery you haven't worked with before. How did that happen? How did you find Fresco gallery, for example? The truth is, I think it's just like, as an artist, if I have a message to deliver, and I think it has always happened like that in my career, God always have a way, to bring the right channel, to make the presentation. As much as Fresco is excited and, interested in working with me, I'm equally excited and interested in working with them, because I think it's kind of like best of both worlds. I want to do something, and the person that is ready to present it is right in front of me. I think that it's some sort of destiny, I would say, that now is the right time to bring this thing forward. So, yeah, I think it's divinely arranged, if I could use that phrase.